Hi everyone, this is Metro Edition. I'm Matt Schuster. If you live in the Urban Services District, which is the area that was formerly known as the City of Louisville prior to merger, then your pickup recycling has gotten even easier. Follow Councilman Tom Owen and Councilwoman Tina Ward-Pugh as they show us how this process works and where your recycling goes.
Hello, welcome to Recycling 201, a fresh look at recycling in Metro Louisville. I'm Councilman Tom Owen of the 8th District. I'm joined by
Councilwoman Tina Ward-Pugh from the 9th District.
We know that as far as recycling is concerned, especially in the Urban Services District, in the last couple of years, there have been some changes that I think have caused some of our citizens to feel a little unsettled. Instead of a recycling truck coming down the street, we have just a garbage truck, a packer, a tipping garbage truck.
The second one is that you can dump it all, your recycling in at the same time, mix it all together. Before, when you had to separate it, and you saw the people come pick it up, they separated it and threw in the truck. Now you don't have to do that.
You may have some questions, so we're going to take you on a ride to the processing facility where all of our recyclables are gathered together and they are processed and headed to a good future. So before we do that, we want to talk to you about some of the basics of what you put in your orange basket.
Girl Scout cookie boxes.
Tin cans.
If you keep your lid on your tin can, it keeps another bottle or another can from getting down in it. Leave the paper on it, it's all recyclable.
Aluminum cans. Here's a plastic drink cup. The plastic top is also recyclable. Pull that plastic straw out.
To make more room in your bin, open up the top, step on it and smash it, and put the top back on, because they want you to put that top back on. That helps, they can recycle that, and it keeps other stuff out of it.
All of these kind of berry boxes and a wine bottle. They said, pull the cart, throw it away, put the bottle back in the basket. Plastics numbers 1 through 7, all of those are recyclable.
And what about our phone books?
They go too.
Another one, we think about the small things too. It all matters. If it's recyclable, you should put it in this orange bin.
Now wait a minute, we need to talk about a few things that you don't put in there. In addition, no styrofoam. Please don't put plastic sacks or the wrappers from newspapers, our grocery sacks, our garbage sacks. Don't put them in there because they mess up the gizmo.
Another way you could recycle those sacks perhaps is if you have a neighbor who has dogs,
oh, yeah.
Give them your bags because they'll need to use that when they're scooping it up.
Now you can recycle styrofoam packaging and styrofoam, but that's done through a commercial company, and you can look up on the Metro government's website to find out where that is.
Well, now, is it true, though, too, that all glass is recycling?
No. You don't want to put glass window panes in there. You don't want to put drinking glasses in there. No, you don't want to put those kinds of glass in there. So with that, you know what goes. Now, the truck's coming soon.
That's right.
And the crew's just going to dump it right in the back of the garbage truck. And we'll see you next in New Albany, Indiana, where this stuff's headed. And now the truck has arrived at QRS Recycling in New Albany. It's dumped on the floor, and what happens, Mike?
Well, we separate it into individual components.
Take us through it.
All right. First thing, the truck will dump it out onto a tip floor, and we dump it into, with a front loader, into a metering bin to feed the system. We've got to feed the system uniformly.
Leveling it out on a conveyor belt so it doesn't get too thick or too thin, exactly, so that the machines can get a hold of it and the humans that are going to touch it can get a hold of it.
That's exactly right. First thing we do is we go through a pre-sort, and we pre-sort anything that shouldn't have been in there. Garbage, wood, tires, plastic bags, we take all that out. Then it goes across the cardboard screen and it skims off all the cardboard. All the cardboard will go across the top, and all the newspaper and containers will fall through. Then it goes up to another pre-sort where we take out all the small cardboard by hand, and any other trash that got by us or plastic bags. Then it hits a couple glass screens that will screen out the glass. And after that, it hits a couple paper screens, and this paper screen will screen out all the newspaper. Okay, and the containers will fall through, and they go into another area where we run it through a container line.
Containers meaning?
Plastic bottles, the aluminum beverage cans and steel food cans.
And so they'll go to a separate area.
Yes.
Now we're done?
No, now we have to separate all of them. And so we pick it up with another front end loader and put it into another metering bin to feed the system uniformly. And it goes up to a pre-sort where we again, by hand, pull out any trash or plastic bags that got by us. And it goes across another glass screen to get any leftover glass. Then what we have to do is separate the small paper from the containers, like the Post-it notes. We have a bounce belt that bounces the containers down, and the paper rides up and over the belt, and we separate it there.
Still working on the containers. What's next?
Then we go underneath the magnet. We have a cross belt magnet, and it pulls all the steel food cans out. And then we go across and dumps onto what we call an eddy current, and the eddy current will actually repel or jerk the aluminum out of the system.
There goes the beer can, there goes the Coke can.
They're all gone. All we have left now is plastic, 1 through 7. Then it hits what we call an optical sorter. This optical sorter uses near-infrared camera technology to identify by resin type the PET bottles. And it pulls the PET bottles out with little air nozzles. And then what we have left is the 2 through 7s. And so we manually pull out your number 2, which is your HD, your milk jugs, your laundry detergent bottles, by hand, and then you have your 3 through 7s go off the end.
So now you've got all the stuff that came in the front of the factory sorted into piles and loaded onto trucks. Where are they going and what's going to happen to it?
Well, the plastics go to different mills that shred it and turn it back into either new food products, or like the number 2 is made into drainage tile, paint cans. The newspaper gets made into book covers or box board, like your cereal boxes. Your cardboard gets made into new cardboard. Your steel gets made into new steel. Your beer can gets made into new beer cans.
And so they're on their way to factories.
Yes.
Where you call them mills.
We call them mills.
Where they're going to be made into new products.
Exactly.
Metro Louisville, when they bring orange trucks and dump on your floor, are you paying them anything for this stuff?
We are currently. It's market driven. We have a contract with them that's based off of the market indicators. And when the market's up, they get paid. When the market's down, they may have to pay us a little. Right now, they're getting paid.
So one of the ways of covering the costs of the drivers and the trucks and driving over to New Albany is to receive, in a good market time, money from you for bringing the recyclables in.
Absolutely. This is a very good market time. We have invested in the people and the processes to make it simple so people can recycle easily, and therefore they'll do it.
Mike Laverty here at QRS Recycling in New Albany. You've given us a little assurance that when we put it in that orange basket or we drop it at that drop-off site, that those materials are on their way to a future. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Now I hope you feel a lot better about where your recyclables go after we've been to New Albany and we've seen that processing facility. You know, your situation really might be very, very different than what we've depicted, because you may be part of a subdivision who contracts, or a small city who contracts with a recycler, or you may have to add that to your garbage bill and personally pay for it. Or if you live in a multiplex somewhere in Metro Louisville, you may even have to take your recyclables personally to a drop-off site. Now, there are 2 kinds of Metro drop-off sites. One of them is staffed, and you can even take antifreeze and oil there and larger kinds of batteries. You can go to an unstaffed drop-off site and take your recyclables wherever it is, Louisville. We can do a whole lot better. Come on, let's get with a program of turning in those things that we use and turn them into new useful products. There are a lot of good reasons to recycle. Just think about it. Number 1, we're creating a large mountain of our garbage out at the I-65 in the outer loop. And there's just so much space in that sanitary landfill. So let's divert as much of the material as we can. In addition to that, they tell me that it takes, generally speaking, a lot less energy to take an old this or that, an old bottle, an old plastic bottle, or a newspaper, a lot less energy to turn it into a new product than it does to start all over brand new. Plus, many of the recyclables are made from oil or coal-based products, and you know that's a finite resource. And finally, let's try in Louisville to cultivate among us even a deeper commitment to living more gently on this earth. Surely that's the way it was intended to be. Hey, I really appreciate your attending Recycling 201. I hope now you'll feel better when you see that garbage truck coming down the street and your mixed together recyclables that no longer need to be sorted, thrown willy-nilly right in the back of the garbage truck and then compacted, because now you know where they're headed and the new use that's going to be done as a result of that. And you know, one other thing before we go, don't put your stuff in plastic sacks, because that's the real challenge over at the processing facilities. Just throw things in together and they'll be recycled.
Thank you for attending Recycling 201. For more information about Metro Recycling, go to www.louisvilleky.gov
or call Metro Call at 311 or 574-5000.
Thousands of people turned out this Memorial Day for Mayor Fisher's first hike, bike, and paddle event. Here's a look at the day's activities.
You know, it's a whole different view. The vistas are different, and you get to see things you don't normally see.
We do it every year. Everyone they have, we've been doing it for several years, and we have a great time.
Riding bikes, walking, paddling in the river, just great activities around Louisville.
It's just a huge event. It totally works with our mission statement in that we want people to have a healthy, active lifestyle.
We do it every year. It's a great time to get in shape and just spend time with families.
Probably the number one community question was, are we going to keep the hike and bike events going? So I said we got to make it bigger and better than just the hike and bike. So today we're excited to officially announce that we are inviting all of our canoeists and all of our kayakers to town as well to join the cyclists and the walkers for the Mayor's Healthy Hometown Subway Hike, Bike, and Paddle.
Stage 1 Family Theater and Music Theater Louisville kicked off their 2011 summer season with the musical review, Ain't Misbehavin'. Here's an encore look.
The review is just wall-to-wall music, a celebration of a certain period or a certain time. This happens to be the 1920s with Fats Waller and his music.
Misbehavin' is a wonderful opportunity to highlight the music of the Harlem Renaissance period. And, you know, it has a lot of fun numbers, little audience participation numbers, and just the music overall tells about what was going on in that period as far as being black and entertainer of that period.
That's all for this Metro Edition. Thanks so much for joining us. Remember, stay connected to your city, your life, and your Louisville right here on the national award-winning Metro TV. Until next time, I'm Matt Schuster. Make it a great day.
Metro TV, a public service of Louisville Metro government.